Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 15 NFL previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the St. Louis Rams and the New Orleans Saints. This game will take place in St. Louis, who comes in with a record of 5-8, and you have New Orleans at 10-3. A win secures a playoff berth for New Orleans, who's coming off of a big win last week in the division versus Carolina. Remember, they play at Carolina next week, so a couple things at play here for the Saints. The Saints are 3-3 on the road, 10-3 overall, 3-3 on the road. And look, they score 32 points a game at home, as opposed to 19 points a game on the road. Their defense lets up 15 points a game at home, as opposed to 22 points per game on the road. So if there's one area the Saints have to improve, it is on the road. They do have an inside track to a bye here in the NFC, but the thinking is if they want to get where they need to, they will have to go on the road, and most notably probably back up to Seattle. So, improved play on the road is something that's going to be a focus of the Saints these next 2 weeks. They'll look to jumpstart it here in St. Louis. And, a team like St. Louis, the strength of their defense is rushing the passer. And we know the strength of the Saints offense is throwing the football. So how will that matchup sort of unfold here? Robert Quinn, Chris Long, Michael Brockers and company, how do they match up against that Saints offensive line, and can they get in the face and affect the rhythm of Drew Brees? Now, this game will be played indoors, so from that perspective, you think you give the Saints a little bit of a bump up in how they will play on the offensive side of the ball. The Rams, on the other hand, look, the Rams on offense, Kellen Clemens is what he is. He's a serviceable, at times, backup quarterback. But we're seeing as he plays multiple weeks here in a row, his play really dissipate. And as a whole, you've seen a lot of peaks and valleys with the Rams since he's been the quarterback. And that's going to happen with a backup quarterback. And you notice the games they've played well are games where on defense they get after the quarterback, and on offense they're able to run the ball first and then let that lead to some big plays down the field. Can they puncture the Saints defense for big plays down the field? I think will be key in this game. To ask Kellen Clemens to sustain drives and keep up with Drew Brees from a points perspective, I think is a little bit unreasonable. So they either got to puncture big plays down the field, or they got to have a huge game from Zach Stacy and control the clock and keep the ball away from Drew Brees. Because I think if they get into a throwing match, you're going to get that inevitable Kellen Clemens mistake, and I think that can really hurt the Rams' chances in this one, of course. And, Drew Brees has thrown 5 of his 8 interceptions on the road as well. Does it help him that much that he's playing in a dome in this game? I personally think it will. The Rams have had a penchant, though, of playing big in games where you don't expect them to. I mean, I look at earlier in the year versus the Colts, how they just came out and obliterated the Colts 38-8. Now we know a little bit more about the Colts and sort of the trend and the downward trend that they were probably starting in that game. But still, they've come out and played well in certain games. It seems when teams are physical with the Rams, that's something that they have a tough time reacting to, especially in the running game. Can the Saints establish a running game? If they can, I think that gives that offense even more of a huge leg up than I think they already have in this game. So, you take all these factors into consideration. I really like New Orleans in this game. I know they're on the road. They don't, as I documented, they don't play as good on the road. But I think there's a focus in that building this week that, look, these next 2 games on the road, we need to show out and we need to improve, because that's the one thing, the one knock here on the Saints in 2013 is the play on the road. And look, it's warranted. The numbers do bear it out. Big performance from Brees. I think an opportunistic turnover, forcing turnovers type performance from the defense. And I really like the Saints here with something to prove on the road and not looking ahead to Carolina. I think the combination of Peyton and Drew Brees will keep that from happening in this one. And I like New Orleans -6.5 on the road here in St. Louis. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at @SNewsAnalysis. I preview every game, always talking about the NFL here on my YouTube channel. We'll be talking NFL draft here in the next couple weeks. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.